So that's the thing when somebody they have no intention to even put that assumption in anybody's head, right? When they shout or yell or even promote certain people without the intention of discriminating anybody, it could be people just overthink sometimes. Do you think this is a culture thing in Asia, or is it applies internationally, anywhere, everywhere?
I mean, we have social media nowadays. I think the another outcome would be right. You will end up in Facebook or whichever video it is.
Storm.
So yeah, yeah, Storm or Facebook. Ultimately, it will be circulated at YouTube or whichever social media it is. So yeah, so I think that actually sort of like amplify the whole thing. And I think another thing is probably the way we have been brought up, since young, the way that we have been taught, like for example nowadays, kids, you can see how you can walk to any minima, is you can check which minima actually sound those kind of like cane. You don't really see a lot of cane. You probably out of the 50 of them, only one of the store actually sell that. So the way that we have the discipline seems to be changing, especially kids nowadays. Like even for myself, yeah, I do have a cane, but only as a way to actually threaten. But then ultimately, you don't really hit the kid using that cane itself. Yeah, so
Just be careful. SPCA may come and visit you.
yeah, actually, when I was trying to buy that cane, but when I walked to ask one of the provision shop, right,
I have a solution
I got
for you, Shopee.
discriminated for that. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't used to actually hit the kid, but more of like, as a way to get the kid to stop doing whatever it is.
Hang on, Justin. Yeah, okay, that one's for kids. Not definitely not for our employees.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, also, but it's relevant because it's how we have been brought up and how we actually see the way that kids or even employee, right, should be disciplined now. Because people talk, and then what people talk, last time it used to be consumed, it just contained within a small circle or with your friends, but now it's actually amplified everywhere else. So yeah, but actually, if you think about it, if you were to scream, if you were to shout, right, ultimately, if all these videos has been circulated out, right, it can actually cause whatever effect to the business itself. So for the good of the business, you can't really do that. Yeah. So I mean, just said, I think
this is
it's not the way that it's running.
Yeah, but this is also, I mean, I as I said, but this is also where some of the projects that we handle are also the results of the founders being too careful. Like they how should I say? Okay, some of the mistakes that
being too polite.
They are being too politically correct, or being too politically correct, and at the same time, sometimes the leaderships has sort of redefined. Sometimes are very top down. I want this, and then you probably ended up rubbing people the wrong way, not believing in work-life balance, that kind of stuff. So when that happens, it can be mistakes that entrepreneurs could actually be able to avoid. But the problem is that if one party is being too oversensitive, okay, it may actually turn out, it may actually be easier for both parties to part ways, rather than trying to be oversensitive or whatever. I'm not just saying that it's just employees or interns. It's not, because even entrepreneurs are also sometimes they like to victimize themselves, make themselves too much. Oh, okay, I'm of a certain race. I have a certain disability. Blah 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 blah. Then some of them actually abuse it. Abuse it, make use of social medias and try to tap onto the public sympathy and all this, trying to push their own agenda and all this. I think this is it's not say uncommon. In fact, it's actually pretty common because social media is a double-edged sword. So some of these entrepreneurs, when they want to tap onto social medias, they thought that they can control it. But I mean, look at so many cases. How many of them actually are manageable? In fact, most of the things that sometimes you try to amplify a bit, it sort of backfire. So I think these are some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs will probably have to learn. That social media, as much as it may help you, it can also kill your business also. So that's why I think the adoptions of social media it's better to leave it to the professionals who know how to manipulate, how to make use of it, rather than try to attempt to do it yourself.
What's your
Yeah,
thought, Shelby?
My take is, right, in the workplace right now, we have the Gen Z coming on board. And I myself, I think Jocelyn and myself, we are not actually the millennials. I think Patty is actually Gen Y. So we heard a lot of like millennials scare, millennial is very difficult to manage and all these things. They request for me, that kind of thing. But with Gen Z coming on board, right? And this actually will become more serious when we have 3 different generations coming. Okay. So having said that, right, the way I look at it is I do agree with Patty, right? Last time leadership is very straightforward. It is about we coming, as in the manager say that this is the instruction. I need task 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to talk about it. But then, right now, it's not about giving top-down instruction. It is about giving you the opportunity to grow. Don't know whether you know how to grow, okay, and also lead you to how to grow. If you fail to actually perform certain tasks, the manager have to come in to pick up the pieces for you. So I think for manager or even entrepreneur yourself, right, it is very difficult there is no one style fits all, let's put it this way. Then at the same time, everybody have different characteristics and their needs and wants, and they are looking at different things. I think last time is simple, like, oh, I promote you, I give you advancement, I give you salary increment, give you a position that is higher manager, that kind of thing. People are happy about that. But nowadays, right, it is not about how much I actually have. Sometimes it can be about, oh, I'm actually in a startup ecosystem. My office is fancy. Okay. Or it may be because my company is doing a lot of mental health kind of events for us to make sure that we know all these things. So as an entrepreneur yourself, right, you have to really nail it down. I think what kind of culture you want first. Okay. And then after you define what kind of culture you want, I think that is where you hire people. Do not hire people and try to define what your company wants. I think that because every people coming in, right, have different personality, have different wants and needs. I rather you set what you want and then you attract the correct talent rather than you trying to actually produce it. Because eventually in a startup ecosystem, right, we don't hire unless you actually are funded very heavily by certain investor. You don't hire a lot of people at one go. And because of that, as long as one people is down, it can be easily 10% to 20% down in terms of outputs. So getting it right at the start, right, is very important, the way I look at it.